This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
I'm KJ Wright from the Seattle Seahawks, and you are watching NorbFam.
Well, here we are again. Post-game Hawks Real Talk episode. Just to vent a little bit about this Seahawks, another Seahawk loss, third consecutive loss with the Seahawks dropping this game to the 49ers. What was this final score? 30-something to 20-something? I don't know. Just ugly. But figured, why not? Just got in the door a few minutes ago and thought this would be a good chance to try to just, if you guys want to vent, there's definitely a lot to vent about in this just another ugly loss by the Seahawks. That was exciting for a little while, but just not enough. Too much to overcome, too many bad plays, not enough good ones. And we find ourselves back in another loss column here as we drop to 500 after such a promising start to this season. So I'm hoping to get the whole gang of the Hawks Real Talk in here, but for right now, I just got one of the three, and we'll roll with that. We've got Abel here joining me, whose parents were at the game, but Abel was not able to go. I was hoping to meet up with him, but maybe hopefully next time. Abel, man, rough night again, huh?
Yeah, just rough in all circumstances.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, it's always good to start with some. I have the same talk with my kids, especially when they have like a bad day of volleyball. Like, it's always good to start with something positive because it's obviously not all negative. It's not like everything was bad, even though it feels like it in the end. But what were some of the bright spots here? Is just to remind everybody, as you can see on the phone number on the banner below, as well as on my screen, 202-926-1076. If you want to call in, enter the code 696153, and it'll bring you up on the line. You can also join on Discord. The link is in the description if you'd like to pipe in and just vent some of your frustrations. But yeah, Abel, I don't know. I guess start with some positive, I guess, before we go into the onslaught of bad things that happened in this game. Can you think of any positives that happened?
Oh, sure. I mean, clawed back at halftime and scored on back-to-back possessions. We scored touchdowns. We did a good job in the second half, keeping like that momentum in a space where they didn't have all of it. But I mean, I think at the end, we probably just needed some more explosive plays, and we probably didn't get enough. But Laviska Shenault's run, that great drive where Kenneth Walker scored, it's things like that shift momentum. And we were driving with, down by 6, in the fourth quarter. So just make it a big blown lead. Or not lead, but...
Yeah, we definitely had a nice third quarter. I mean, it started off rough because 49ers basically took the ball and went down the field and scored another touchdown to make it a 23-3 game, I think, at that point. And I almost felt like, man, maybe this game's out of reach. And then we come back with the kick return for the touchdown. We get a defensive stop, and then we get a drive that results in a touchdown. And all of a sudden, it's a 6-point game. And it felt like we had everything going for it until Gino gave a reverse birthday present back to the 49ers in his second pick. The momentum just went so far out of the room out of the building. And it was, I don't know what he was looking at because at least from what I saw, I have to watch it again, but it just seemed like he threw it right to the guy. I mean, he was not open, and the 49er defender was the only guy within range of that ball, and it really made it to where it was going to take a bit of a miracle to come back. And
yeah, it was not his brightest moment.
No, it wasn't. Got a few people watching in here. A lot of people commenting in. A person is in here. We got Jose still saying go Hawks. AD not happy, ticked off about this game. Brandon is in here. Eric Astad just starting off slow on offense this season. Yeah, well, that sounds familiar, though. Even under Pete Carroll, we always started out slow, didn't we? that whole can't win the game in the first quarter business, so let's just wait till the fourth quarter. Jim Everett, the great Geno Smith is terrible, lost the game. Monsoon, we sold this game. We had all the chances to score, but had stupid penalties to shot ourselves in the foot. Combat Central, Geno Smith sucks, just terrible. Start Sam Howell. I saw a lot of that during the game. Norb, trade for Russell Wilson. When that funny that comes back. Hey, we need Russell Wilson back in here. Jose, we got a 49er fan in the house. Jim Everett, Geno missed wide open target. He did. It was not his best night. He's had great days, but I cannot say too much positive about the way he performed tonight. Based on about 2675. The game was not Geno's fault. Not entirely, because our defense, again, could not get stops when they needed to. And really, at the end, just like, oh, my goodness, really? You have a sliver of a shot, and then you give up a 50-yard, 60, 70, whatever, that run at the end.
Like a third-string running back.
Yeah, third string, man. Crazy. Y'all acting like Geno the main problem. He's not the main problem. Today, he was part of the problem, but not the main problem. Geno is doo-doo. He's a Chant TV.
Like old Geno. Yeah. It was not great game.
Yeah. Chant TV it's the defense. Y'all missed almost all the entire defense.
Dude, I pointed it out. I said limit the explosive plays, and the first thing we did was just let the explosive plays run through.
Kevin Sagastume, being a Seahawks fan is not for the weak. That's for sure. Let's see. Just watched it back. The second pick wasn't Geno's fault. DK ran a bad route and drifted upfield. I heard about that too, and I saw it at the end of it. But yeah, my understanding is that it was actually it wasn't meant to be a deep route. But I think Geno was also partially at fault because on that second pick, which really kind of almost put the nail in the coffin, it was supposed to be a quicker route where he should have hit DK on the initial run to the center. And I think Geno then thought DK thought Geno was going like off script and just everybody's scramble drill. And so then DK started heading downfield thinking, okay, let's just try to make a play out of this. And then the timing was all off. And so they were just out of sync.
Yeah, I just thought, if you, at first when you see the play, you could probably just think that he could float it over the defender and that would have been like a touchdown. But it wasn't exactly. It's not exactly.
Yeah, obviously somebody was out of sync because it was such a bad play in the end that something had to have been off between the two. DK, they say DK stopped his route early. I don't know, unless he didn't throw the ball early enough. I guess that's the big question. I don't know. Done some bad stuff. Bad game. Disappointing from Chris. Robert, on to the next. We're going to be saying that a lot this season. Dukes of Hazzard again. What's up, Norb? Missed the game tonight. Oh, well, you missed a lot of bad, a spark of good, and then more bad at the end. Civil Humanities fans might skip the Seahawks versus Bills and Falcons game. Yeah, I know. Rough. Yeah, Brendan. Hey, Brendan, my buddy, the dancer, dancing king. Good Lord, rough night for sure. B58 Ramirez. What will our record be at the end of the season? Hey, I'll say this much. Before the season started, I said we would be 3-2 going into this game, and that we would lose this game. So we're right on track, for as far as I'm concerned. We just flopped wins and losses with the Dolphins. So I expected we'd be 3-3. And if you, I haven't really told my whole prediction, but I did say it earlier before the season started that I was predicting 10-7. I'm just going to hold on to that. Doggone it, we're still on track for that right now. Jose, I might be a Niner fan, but I've been watching your videos for years. Love the content. Thank you, Jose. Appreciate you, man. 3 games in 11 days. We can hang our heads tonight. Move onward to the next game. What else can we do? Saw KG right in the background during the review of the play where 49ers punt the ball and the 49ers challenged the play because Hawks touched the ball with the tip of a finger. Hawks got lucky. That's what I'm hearing. People were saying that. Did you see it, Abel, that we actually did make contact on that punt where they picked up the flag? Yeah,
but the weird thing about it was on the broadcast they said that the replay officials in New York, they didn't have the view of what we did. So
interesting.
Were like different original camera angles. So on some of the camera angles, it just looked like it passed by. But, on the specific one, it touched the screen. You gotta
It's
pick.
interesting that New York, how does New York, which is the official office that sees every angle, how do they not have the angle that we have? What, they're not Amazon Prime members, so they don't have the Amazon angle?
It was
Oh, that's pretty funny.
chaos.
Oh, the Devo with the 71-yard touchdown. Talk about giving up a explosive play.
Just saying, I think half of the NFL has let Debo get a 50-plus yard touchdown at least once.
Yeah.
That is explosive.
I think it's more on the players this time. The coaching is there, but I feel like players aren't really putting the effort, especially on the O&D line.
You know, half and half. I think the coaching still wasn't fully there.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's about effort, but I think there's discipline, like guys not being in the right spot. I don't think it's like they're just jogging and not trying. I think they're playing very intensely, but sometimes you can play real intense, but if you're in the wrong place, guys break out for 71-yard touchdowns and 50-yard runs and all that kind of stuff.
On false starts.
Yeah. In the offseason, Seahawks media, in the offseason, do you think the Seahawks should get a new QB or fix the O-line first? That's what Colin Cowherd just said in his recent video just now. Said what? That we should do the QB or fix the O-line? The O-line's got to be fixed because nobody's dropping back and doing very well with that O-line.
Yeah, he was pressured the whole game. Like, I think a third of the time he was having to roll out of the pocket, and he had all of his momentum going toward the sideline. That all he could do to make it so he wasn't turning the ball over again was to chuck it out of bounds. So
yeah,
Michael,
I don't know about this, Michael. The Seattle lost 2 straight due to DK.
Nope.
You can't blame DK on this. Now, granted, DK had some plays that, like that he had a touchdown, and his toe was too big. If he could have gotten that, drag the toe instead of drop the foot down.
He got hit early.
There's a lot that could have gone either way, but again, game of inches on that one. Sentai Ranger Donnie, hello everybody. Hope everyone's hanging tight. Hey Abel, he says. Thanks for the shout outs. Giovanni, your QB sucks, honestly. Well, tonight he did kind of suck on some moments for sure.
Yeah.
Jana TV, Devo 70-yard touchdown, chase the momentum. I got to get to the super chat. Chris Vanderslice with the super chat. Bad game, Norb, disappointing. I know we were in a new scheme, but looks like last year's defense. I'm staying positive. Go Hawks. It does feel like last year's defense.
Pretty good take.
Yeah. Chris, appreciate the chat, the super chat, the support. Monsoon, hopefully we can beat the Falcons, but Kirk Cousins, he would just say, just threw 500 yards against the Bucs defense. So.
I don't know. Just Kirk Cousins, I don't think is like an elite QB, but I think he's stoppable.
He has moments.
Yeah.
He's beatable. I know he's not Patrick Mahomes, that's for sure. It's really bad throws by Geno.
When they make him throw the ball 52 times.
Another home loss. I'm so angry. Yeah, I think we all feel that way. Michael, I'm a New York fan, but enjoy watching, man. Seattle's been nice to me the last 3 years. New York fan? I'd say that's Giants. Don't know, are you Giants or Jets? We play both of you guys this year, so we'll see how that goes. Defense can't get turnovers. That's a big deal right there. It was aching for like that one game-changing. They can't get sacks either. Sack fumble, didn't get either. No interceptions, nothing. And we keep finding new ways to give the ball back. Kick returns. Seahawks media, one funny thing is, Byron Murphy played 3 games with the Hawks, but we lost 3 games without having Byron Murphy. Is Byron Murphy your answer for not winning the games? It would help.
You didn't see him with pass rush, essentially. And, I think he contributed, but at the end of the day, pass rush has been a big thing, and he got to the QB occasionally, but he wasn't, doing anything crazy with that.
He could he impacts the running game because if he does take up a lot of space, it's hard to. It wasn't like he was lighting it up and getting multiple sacks, but it's his presence in there did help. So it's hard to know. Game. Yeah, yes, to help. Just of course, he was in there against New England, and they were run all over us. So I'm not sure what happened there, but it's not. I don't think you can ever say one guy would make the difference because Boyamafe was back, and I was excited about him, and he was like, he had some plays, but it wasn't like he was taking Brock Purdy down at all. So, yeah. Oh, geez. DK is always getting strapped up. Get him and Gino off my team ASAP.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some serious overreactions in here. Have to run the ball. Well, I gotta see the numbers. I haven't pulled up the numbers yet. Do you know how many times we ran the ball, Abel? How many attempts did we get? I know it's more than 5.
Yeah.
We got to look that up. I want to see how many attempts we had. We definitely had more than last week, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
You're looking at it. Jose says, I drove down to Seattle from Utah last season to watch my first Hawks game against the Cards. Stayed in Federal Way. Fell even more in love with Seattle. Oh, that's nice, man. We have to come back again. Sam Howell, the future QB. Do we need a quarterback change?
No, I'm seriously thinking to start Sam Howell at least one of these games.
I think it depends on how it goes. Because Gino hasn't been the problem. Tonight he was part of the problem.
But he hasn't been
the solution.
Like, he hasn't. That's the thing. Like a guy that's average and is inconsistently below or above at times is not the answer. I don't even think you need to start Sam Howell for a game. I just think you need to make at least a little bit of a QB competition or put some fire under Gino's butt because
people. I saw people talking about they saw DK throwing a tantrum or something and talking on the phone to they think is the OC, which is what Cass JJ99 said. DK acting like a diva, calling upstairs to the OC. We don't know what he was saying, right? I mean, there's speculation, but we don't know the reality of what the deal was in there. So we don't know. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, DK is frustrated for multiple reasons. I don't think it's not for a lack of trying, though. He's definitely trying to force feed him the football, almost to a fault sometimes. Let's see what else we got. Comments keep flying in. I do want to get one of these phone calls in here. Let me take a break on the comments and let's bring in one of our phone calls here. Let's bring in Sergio. Let's see if I can get Sergio on here. Hang on, Serge.
Hello?
Sergio, you there?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up? Our loss column is up to 3 now. So, yeah, man. What was your feeling after this game? It's kind of like, we kind of excused them for Detroit. We said, well, they overlooked the Giants, but this was kind of like there's no excuse of overlooking the opponent. We just got beat. So, how do you feel now?
I came into this game. I expected a competition, I didn't expect to blow the Niners out of the water, but I did come into this game saying, got to look at the big plays, Shanahan did say they were going to contribute Deebo Samuel more to their scheme and their game plan. They obviously did that. But honestly, this whole game, we just shot ourselves in the foot. That's really what we did. We shot ourselves in the foot. That DK bomb for that 50-yard touchdown and then that Kenneth Walker illegal shift, that one hurt. Gino overthrowing balls, underthrowing balls, turnovers, Laviska Shenault turnover. It was just a mess all over.
Yeah, and when you play the 49ers, you have to kind of almost be perfect. Perfect in that you can't give them freebies, right? Because in a head-to-head matchup, I mentioned this when I talked to, if you watch my live stream, I talked to Nick LaBow, who is normally on the panel, and we both talked about it, how we have to be perfect and we've got to get some breaks. We got to get some luck our way. And it seemed like all the luck went to the 49ers, the fumble on the kickoff, couple turnovers, breakaway free touchdowns, basically that big run at the end was like a touchdown, basically, set up a touchdown. I mean, we needed a play like that. We got one. We got the one kick return. That was kind of like our little gift, right? You don't get those very often. So that was cool. And it helped. And it suddenly shifted momentum and set up what was going to be potentially a game, take the lead drive, and then we just give it right back with the interception. So you can't do that. You can't have 3 turnovers to the 49ers and expect to win. It's just not going to happen. It's hard to win against any team when you're losing the turnover battle. But to the 49ers especially, yeah, we definitely shot ourselves in the foot.
They have guys all over the place that can make plays. You got Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. When CMC's healthy, you have him. It's like, it's so crazy to where if you limit it enough, and you can be good enough on defense and then play perfect on offense, you have a shot of winning. That's with a perfectly healthy Niners team. And today we went into it injured and hopeful, but at the same time, I mean, in the past, like George Kittle especially, 2021, he had like 2 touchdowns, 181 yards, 9 catches. He had 2 touchdowns today. Deebo Samuel had a 70-yard touchdown today.
I know. It's not that. It's like a bad movie on replay. The only difference, we didn't see Christian McCaffrey running up and down the field. There was some other guy who's the third string. So it's like, 49ers going, injuries? What injuries? We're doing the same thing with guys banged up. They have Severius Ward in their defensive backfield. That didn't stop them from getting picks. They had a rookie get a pick.
That's when you know there's a problem.
Yeah. So we can't use the injury excuse because the Niners had plenty of their own, but they're just more physical. They just got they have better lines. And that's the biggest thing is my concern. And it's really my concern all year is that you compare the pocket between Brock Purdy and Geno Smith, and it's like 2 totally different things. Geno Smith, he's got about 2.5 seconds, maybe 3 to throw the ball. Purdy's back there cooking hot dogs. He's got all day. And then he's very smart about getting out of the pocket and yet still staying in a position to throw. But he's already got like 4 seconds plus before that, and then he scrambles around, and then by that time, you can't have a guy covered for 7 seconds. It's just not possible. Someone's going to get open, and that's what happens.
I was telling my dad in the middle of the game, get a QB spot. Like, at that point, Purdy had scrambled like 3 times for a first down on 3rd down, and it just got like, okay, if they're not open and the pass rush is not coming, it's just going to be a first down by scramble. So,
yeah. All right. Well, anything else, Serge? We finally get some other callers in here, but any last thoughts? Oh, so what do you do? Because there's all this talk now about put Sam Howell in. Geno sucks. Get rid of him. Is that overreaction, or is that legit like something we need to consider?
In my opinion, I think it's an overreaction. Geno has his moments, but there's also times out there where he can really move the ball. He can really move the football. I mean, when it comes to garbage time plays and when it comes to like game-winning drives, Geno can do it. Obviously not today, but he has his moments. I think it's an overreaction on putting Sam Howell in. I think if we put Sam Howell in, I believe we will be worse than we are right now.
We can always be worse. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, there might be a time at which we'll see. It depends on how bad this losing streak goes for, and we don't know when it's going to end because it does not get any easier after this week.
If we do go on a losing streak, I'll consider it.
How long is that? Because it's only game 6, and we got 11 to go. So if we go 6 games losing streak,
3 more games, these next 3, I say you consider it.
So if we go 3 and 6, it's time to start thinking about swapping the quarterback.
Yes.
Well, by the time you finish thinking, it'll be week 14.
Yeah, we'll be out of it anyway. So, all right, Sergio, thanks for the call, man. We're going to catch another call here. Let's go to the 702. I believe this is Michael. Michael, are you there?
How's it going, man? First of all, I just want to say thank you for taking the call.
Yeah,
I
man.
want to add to that Geno thing. Geno never had a fair chance in New York, but you guys have a solid QB, He reads defenses like the back of his hand. You're talking about someone who basically outplayed Eli Manning in 2017 and benched his ass. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse my language.
That's all right.
I just want to put that out there.
So you're a pro Geno guy.
You guys should be overreacting. I'm a big Geno fan, dude.
Are you? Okay. So wait. So you're a Seahawks fan, right?
I'm the New York guy.
You're New York. Okay, so you're a Giants guy.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you're coming from a different perspective. We saw Geno earlier on. I think. I'm not of the thought of bench Geno. He had a bad game, but this is the first game I feel like he definitely was part of the problem because the turnovers, some overthrows. He just was not on his game today. I don't know if he had too much birthday cake or what, but it was just not working. And he missed some guys kind of throwing the ball late. Like he didn't see it right away. If he got rid of the ball sooner, he probably could have hit some guys and had some plays that turned out to be incompletions. But again, this is on. Well, it's the turnovers, but the defense still feels like it's not getting the job done. I mean, giving up that 71.
That's exactly. They're putting him in a position to toss the ball 50 times.
Exactly right, because we're down 23-3, right? 23-3. It was 23-3 to start the third quarter. I mean, that's hard for any team to come back from. Yeah, it can happen, but and we've got a porous offensive line. Gino's got no time, so it's just a matter of time before you keep having to throw 40, 50 times a game. He's going to get sacked, and he's going to get picked.
That's the thing, though. It's like, well, who's going to take the blame for him having to throw 50 times? Because we know the first thing we would say is the coaching staff. But, you see in that first quarter of that game, in the second quarter of that game, you say Gino maybe not making the throws he needs to make. And yeah, the pocket collapses from the O-line. Wide receivers dropping footballs. Defense not making stops. So it's like, well, all these things go into this big line. And it's like, which one are we going to put the blame on for these things that are happening? And I would say probably it's the O-line and the coaching for the 50 passes. But also, if Gino had gotten us a lead in those first two quarters of the game and that O-line had helped him out a little bit, then we wouldn't have had to throw the ball another 20 times, Then we could have started establishing the run game and doing, things like that.
Yeah. It's it's kind of like everything. It's all balanced between everything. If you fumble on special teams, you're hurting the team that way. If you can't stop anybody on defense or get stops on third down, you're hurting yourself as well as the offense. And so the defense, and then on offense, if you don't, turn the ball over in the first the drive instead of at least getting 3 points that they should have gotten. I mean, it's all taxes on each side of it. But for me, the biggest thing, I feel like the defense will get better because we are missing a lot of guys. I know it's an excuse, but the offensive line, I don't think it's going to get any better significantly at any point during the season because there's just not any, there's no reinforcements. There's no cavalry coming. Unless you think Abe Lucas is going to suddenly get better from his knee problem and become like this beast at right tackle from after not playing for an entire, how many months has he not played? We're stuck with this O-line. And I'm telling you, you put anybody back there, Sam Howell, Geno Smith, you put Brock Purdy back there, I guarantee you he's going to get some sacks and fumbles probably.
I mean, and against the Niners defense, with Joey Bosa, and then you have Fred Warner behind them. It's like, with that O-line and that defense, those two do not mesh well. So,
yeah.
What do you expect,
Yeah. I think you mean Nick. Joey's the other one, the other Bosa. Then at one point that the 49ers were thinking about they could have gotten both Nick and Joey at one point. And then, I don't know. Anyway, that would be scary. That would be a scary thought.
That would be so terrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael, thanks for the call, man.
Here's why I'm confused.
Go ahead. One more thought before I move on to the call.
Here's why I'm confused. Is like the defensive scheme. I see a couple pressures, but I don't see a lot of blitzes getting racked up, and I see the screen passes. You know exactly what screen passes I'm talking about. It almost worked today again on the 3rd and 18. So I think defenses have a big problem too.
We saw that against the Giants last week. Got beat on a screen at 3rd and 17. Almost gave it up again
but
here.
It almost worked again today. The same exact play. They threw it to forgot who it was, but it worked again today. Basically, it was a 3rd and 18 and it went to a 4th and 2.
Yeah,
it's very predictable. I just don't get the defensive scheme, and this is a defensive coach too. So I don't know what's going on.
It's confusing, man. I really had my hopes up high in that first game against the Broncos, and since then, it's like each game has been a little bit more like, Is this really the reality sinking in of what we actually have and what we thought we had? It was fool's gold, man. We were fooled in the definitely first game. In the next two, it's like, oh man, coming crashing down to earth real hard. So, yeah. Well, thanks, Michael. Appreciate the call, man. You have a good night, all right?
Of course, you guys be safe, all right?
All right. Thanks. Appreciate you, man. Let's go to, I think this is Kyle from the 505. Kyle, is that right? Is Kyle?
Yep.
Where are you calling from, man?
Fishers, Indiana.
Indiana. Seahawks fan?
Oh, yeah, I'm a diehard Seahawks fan.
Diehard Seahawks fan in Indiana. It's always cool to see these fans from other parts of the country. Well, so you saw it. What did you think?
I was mad. We're on a 6-game losing streak to the Niners now, and I'm just so upset, and I can't wait for Week 11 to play them.
Really? I can. I know how that's going to go, man. Down in Santa Clara. Oh, man.
I know, but
I want revenge just like as much as you do, man. But God, and then if Christian McCaffrey ever does come back and he's actually takes form back to where he was, I mean, imagine this game with him in it. Oh, a third string running back, for crying out loud.
I'm confused. I mean, our old line has got to block. Gino had no time, and he had to get it out. I'm not going to blame him. I'm not even going to blame him on the first pick of the game. He was getting pressured, and he just threw it up, and it was picked. I wasn't too mad at Gino. I was mad at the O-line.
I didn't even hate that first pick either because it kind of put them into bad field position. So if he was going to throw a pick, it was going to be there. But,
I was trying to remember. Did they score on that ensuing drive, or did they have to punt?
No, they got a field goal.
A field goal. That's right. It's 3-0. They got field goal. So it was like, okay, it wasn't too bad, but they did get pretty far down the field. But yeah, the worst was yet to come. The Deebo Samuel thing. Oh my God! And that was Julian Love, wasn't it? Who kind of missed the tackle. He was the last line of defense. They kind of whiffed on him. I mean, you can't do that. You're the last guy. If you don't get him, he's off to the races, and that's exactly what happened. Seahawks media in here says
Julian Love made a great play on Jawan Jennings to force them for a punt, and it was 23-17. I remember
that was, yeah. Because it was kind of like a dive. It was like kind of a short intermediate route, and he kind of dove and undercut it, I think, to knock that ball down or something. Praying that the flag didn't come out. And there were some penalties tonight, man. And again, when it's hard when you're at the stadium.
We would have definitely had a chance to win it if Ken Walker didn't have an illegal shift. There was 4.5 minutes to go. The touchdown would have counted, but of course that happened, and then we scored, and it was 1:57.
Yeah, we were down 2 scores at that point, weren't we? When DK would have gotten that touchdown at that point, so it would have.
Yeah.
It would have gotten it back to a score, and with more time remaining.
Yeah, I think at that point when it was like 1:50, I think the momentum had just kind of been there, and it's like you have one chance to stop him and 70-yard run or whatever it was.
Right after that, yeah. Seahawks media with a question. He says, Hawks couldn't sack Purdy, 3 turnovers. Why couldn't Mike McDonald play defense with the 49ers just like the Ravens with his 49ers last year? That's my question. There's an expression. They say there's the X's and the O's and the Jimmies and the Joes, and basically what that means is you've got scheme and coaching and all these plans, and then you've got the players to execute them. So he didn't exactly just bring his Baltimore Ravens defense and plop it into Seattle. Yeah, he had the guy with the same scheme and all that, but we don't have all the same players.
Yeah, you don't.
And I don't know. The jury's still out, but before the season started, this was my assessment. I said I thought our secondary was great. I thought our D line, if they could stay healthy, would be pretty good. But I had big questions about our linebackers, and I have even bigger questions about our linebackers. I don't know how. Are they a bigger issue than I thought they were? And I thought they would be the issue on defense. And right now, I feel like a lot of these run big blasts that they're getting on us are kind of fault the linebackers, man. I feel like they're the ones who are often in the wrong gaps, and I'd have to watch the tape to really see, but that definitely hurt us in the Giants game. Jerome Baker and Tyrell Dotson were like in the same gap, caught up in the same hole, washed out and leaving big holes. And I don't know about how it was tonight, but I don't know. It's that, and then on the offensive side, the offensive line, and that's clearly the two things that I was most concerned with are exactly the problem.
Charles Cross had a lot of penalties tonight.
Yeah, usually he's been the more solid old lineman. But, yeah, he had some challenges for sure. I got to ask you guys a question. I'm really confused on this one penalty. And, again, I'm not blaming the refs. This really didn't impact the game per se. But the play where we had the false start on the 49ers and the face mask on the Seahawks, what was that about? Because in my understanding of a false start, it's a dead ball penalty, which means the play should end right there. Normally they just blow a whistle and the guy never even gets past the handoff. But the play kept going. I don't know if they just didn't blow the whistle and nobody heard it, but then it keeps going. He gets the face mask, and they not only don't call it offsetting, which I thought it should just be dead ball, false start, march back 5 yards back. Instead, they discount the 5-yard penalty at all, and they give the face mask to the 49ers. I was like, that play shouldn't have even happened. Did they at all talk about it on the broadcast? Because I was so freaking confused on that one.
They just said that.
Kirk Herbstreit said it was a dead ball penalty. I'm confused on why they called a face mask on Leonard Williams.
Oh, so okay. So the announcers were saying the same thing.
Maybe they just thought it was like a personal foul, but it wouldn't have been face mask.
It shouldn't have happened. It should never have counted because the play was dead before that happened.
Soft. Straight up.
And when do you not ever have offsetting in any play where there's a play, even if you count that, anytime you have two teams and there's a penalty on both, it doesn't matter if this team had 3 penalties and this had 1, it still negates each other and it's offsetting. But I did not get it. I didn't get that at all. And it didn't matter. I think in the end they still punted or something, so it wasn't. But it was it affected the field position because that gave them an extra 15. They punted, pinned us back at our 3 or our 5, and then that eventually led to that interception that happened. So, I mean, it changes the dynamics of how the rest of the plays took place. And in that case, we got punted deep into our territory. I just didn't understand that. And one of the many questions I have that were just like random things that had apart from us getting our butts kicked. But I don't know, man. So, Kyle, do you feel like, I don't know, what's the biggest thing that needs to be fixed if you have to point at it? Because a lot of people are putting the blame on Geno, and I think that's a little unfair because it's the easiest thing to blame the quarterback. But what do you think is the one fixable thing we can fix?
When we pressured Purdy a lot this game, and we couldn't make the sacks. There were so many plays where Boye Mafe, Leonard Williams got back there, Jermont Jones, and he got it out, and it was an incomplete pass. If we would have got that sack, it'd have been a loss of 10 yards, loss of down, and it'd have been great. But he just got the incomplete passes, and it was 3rd and 10 instead of 3rd and 22. And then they got a 20-yard pass to Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. I think when we get the pass rushes, we got to make those sacks or even strip the ball out to force 10-yard losses instead of just to throw it out incomplete pass.
Yeah, man. There was one Jerome Baker had a play he could have early on where they could have killed the drive right there. And he had him. He just had a bad angle on him and he couldn't take him down. But
those sacks, it gets me mad. And then we miss those tackles when they run the ball and then they get another 7 yards when it should be a loss of 3 yards. It gets me mad. And our D-line doesn't make those plays.
Me too.
It's hard, right? It feels like it's not just one thing. You go, oh, well, we can fix this, and but then there's that, and then there's this, and there's that. It's not just one position group. It's a bunch of them. We left this game, and my dad was going, you know what? I think we could end up 3-14. And I was going, come on, Dad, don't be such a negative Nelly. Then I started looking at the schedule. You look at this schedule, man. Look at that schedule. We've got, here we go. Here's next. We got Atlanta, not easy. Buffalo. Rams, who knows how they play us. You're going to get your wish here. Rematch with the 49ers in after the bye week. Arizona, who knows how good they'll be playing. Jets, I don't know. Interim coach, back to Cardinals again. Green Bay at home. Vikings at home. At Chicago, at LA. I mean, where's the easy game in here? Where's the gimme game? I don't see one.
Those division games, it's you can split or lose both games to teams like that. It's very easy.
Yeah. Well, right now we have the worst conference record of everybody. We're 0-3 in the NFC. So right now, conference record, we've only got wins against AFC, and that's it. So right now, we're not doing so hot in the NFC. Whew. Yeah. Anyway, well, Kyle, thanks for calling in, man. We'll do this again. And appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
All right. See ya.
Take care. All right, let me give some love to the Discord. We got
He's
some
on this
people
call
in
with
there.
this guy.
Whoa. Those guys are just having a party over there. Let's. I'm gonna. If you guys over there in Discord can kind of keep the chit chat. I'm gonna bring Jay up in the Discord.
You took over for 2 hours. You took over the whole 2 hours.
Bro, we couldn't even get on.
All right. Hold on a second,
Wait,
Jay.
Tristan, can you donate to Norb and see what happens and say like, hey, me and Jade and you the Discord.
Hey, I got you. Hey, can you guys hear me in there, Discord? Oh, I'm muted. That's why. There we go. Jay, you're on Discord. I got you in here, man.
Thank God.
I heard these guys saying, hey, man, there's nothing bringing us on here. All right, well, I just was saying I'm giving some love to the Discord. So, Jay, you get to be the first one up. So, Jay, thoughts on this game, man?
I just want to cry, but I don't want to. But this was the worst game I've ever watched. As a Hawks fan, this is terrible. Like, okay, listen to me. You up 23-17. I'm like, okay, we're going to make a comeback slowly. You throw the ball out of nowhere. Like, what is Geno Smith doing? This was his birthday game, by the way. Thanks to Jade for letting me know. And literally, oh my God, like...
Killed the comeback. Had all the momentum. They did it right back to him. Our territory.
He had so much protection on that play.
Thank you. Abel, I agree with you, dude.
Yeah, I think that's one where he had the pocket, a clean pocket, and then he kind of stepped up. So it's like that whole feeling like, oh, he's got a pocket. The guys are all the threats behind him, and then that happened.
And plus, here's the thing: we should have sacked Brock Purdy, but we didn't.
We didn't.
We never had a sack in this single game.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying this: if we lose to the Falcons, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm not gonna kill myself.
Easy, man. Come on, easy. It's just the Seahawks.
I mean, if you look at the Vikings, they were 5-0, and no one's expecting this. I
know. Oh, we got to play them, by the way. At the who knows how? I don't think it's going to keep up. I don't think that's going to hold up. But I think the 49ers, Detroit, they're going to be in there standing late. I don't know about the Vikings. They've kind of gotten a little bit luck too.
Like the Giants game was rigged. Same with this game.
Rigged. Why do you say rigged?
Here's the reason why I'm saying for that Giants game. If Jason Myers made that field goal, it would have been tied. But no, he got blocked and they just scored.
Oh, and then they don't call so many explanations as to why that was legal when all the rules that outlawed that play. Basically, they just said, oh, no, they're all legal because of this. But really, everything about why they outlawed that was to avoid those plays which supposedly get players hurt. Touching the center, jumping over the line. All that stuff. I mean, we're not going to get into it because I've heard it enough about how they broke down and said, no, everything was legal because of this and that. But the spirit of it is they're supposed to not – they're trying to discourage that play from happening. Yeah. By doing that, they're just saying.
I want to ask you something before you pick someone else.
Yeah, and Jay, is this you who put the super chat in about asking about the Discord?
Yeah, that was me.
Thank you, Jay, for the support. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Also, I want to ask you, how do you feel about the Huskies winning last week?
That was great, man. That was great. It's weird because they call it getting revenge on the Huskies, getting revenge on Michigan, but it's kind of different because it feels like two different teams. But I'm a Husky fan, so I'm glad they won.
Yeah, and Jade as well. So and here's the thing: me and Jade and all of our friends on our server was watching it. Jade was MVP. She was full on loud, just going crazy, and just talking shit about the Michigan Wolverines, how bad they were.
Yeah, Well, I know how much she can't stand Michigan and how much she's a diehard Husky, so it doesn't surprise
She's
me
on
that
the
she's
Discord
gonna
right
lose.
now. She's on the Discord too.
Is she? Okay. All right. Well, is that her? Okay. Eve. Gotcha. Yeah. I'll go to her in a second. But anyway, yeah. Don't talk about killing yourself, man. Life is so many other things in life. I was telling people earlier, I'm very happy to talk about this, though. That I got some good news before the game started, which is probably what made my mood better, because I was in a bad mood already out of the Giants game, just stresses, and my girls' volleyball team was struggling. But today I got some good news, because I said it on the live stream, but my daughter Sophie, who is a sophomore at San Diego State University, today she got the acceptance letter to film school at San Diego State. So we had been waiting for this for the last few weeks, and she got it today. So I walked in the loom and I don't care if we lose. Life's good. So yeah. So like I was saying,
congratulations from outside. Congratulations from outside.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, man. So I'm very, very happy for her. And, there are more important things in life than Seahawks football. I mean, not a lot, but there are some
I
things.
saw you doing the national anthem video. I saw that video of you doing the national anthem.
Yes, I sang the anthem at my daughter's game last week, and that was a lot of fun. So
you should be in America's Got Talent, to be honest, for that.
Well, I don't know about going that good. It would be a cool dream. Today's anthem at the game was really good. The girl who sang. But it would be like the coolest bucket list dream come true to actually sing the national anthem at the stadium. That would be like I would if I got a shot to do that. That would be almost cooler than raising the flag. A lot of people think raising the flag is like the greatest thing. Oh man, we get to sing the anthem. You get to have your spotlight for like 2 minutes, and it's just you, and everybody's focused just on you. And man, the pressure though, man, the pressure of singing the anthem for all those people. And it's like, don't forget the lyrics. Don't crack. That'd be bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, Jay. Thanks for hanging on and for your patience, man. Oh, do you want to say something, Jay?
Oh, I was just gonna say my mom sang a lot of anthems at Seahawks games.
Oh, she has?
I think her and Kirsten might have sang the most at Seahawks games.
Is your mom a professional singer or something?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. So she's done it.
Yeah.
She's lived the dream.
Yep.
Oh man, that's
cool.
Well, that's amazing, dude.
And for some people, there's someone who say, "Why are you talking to a kid?" Norb. So Abel's technically a kid. He's 12, but he's a very smart kid.
Don't worry, dude. I'm not a bully.
But his uncle is what's his name?
Kenny Mayne.
Kenny Mayne. If y'all know, if you follow Seahawks and you know Seattle, you know who Kenny Mayne is. That's his uncle. That's Abel is the nephew of Kenny Mayne, and he was on a show on this clip when you're like 5 years old or something. So don't judge a book by the cover, y'all. Anyway, Jay, thanks a lot, man.
I just want to say before you head off, I just want to say the hoodie that Abel's wearing is the best. I love that hoodie.
Yeah, Huskies, baby. All right, I'm gonna unmute the guys in the Discord so you guys can chat away, give you guys voice back. Okay, let me get back to some more calls here. Let's go to from the 703. I think this is Alam. Let's see if I got this right. Did I get this right? Is this Alam?
No, this is Omar.
Omar. Oh, let me fix this thing and get this right. Omar, where are you from, man?
I'm from Virginia, but I went to UW for grad school.
Oh, so you kind of have some Seattle roots part of you. Okay, Omar. Well, what did you make of this game?
So I wanted to ask you a question that you could uniquely answer because you're at all the games. So increasingly, I'm noticing at these home games that there are an increasing amount of opposing fans that are taking over, not only some of the stadium, but also especially the lower bowl, and they're becoming more vocal. Today, you could hear, Juszczyk when he scored, Ayuk. You can hear the Yug. And I feel like that's happening more often now. And that's one aspect. Now, the other aspect is when you see the expressions of some of these Seahawks, and it starts at the top. It's Mike McDonald. He's very stoic. He's emotionless. It's Geno Smith. He's sulking. It's DK Metcalf. He's not only sulking, he is yelling at Ryan Grubb through the headset. And you're not seeing the same kind of excitement that we've seen over the past 10 to 12 years. And I fear that there's a bigger issue going on with the Seahawks, which is starting to inch toward a level of apathy that is going to be hard to come back from. So I guess my question for you is, how much more is it going to take for there to be just complete apathy for this team? Because it seems like it's inching toward that way.
Interesting. Let me get to that, but I want to recognize a couple of guys who support my channel in the super chat. First of all, Dukes of Hazzard with the $9.99 chat. Not feeling anything special this year about the Hawks. Gino doesn't have the time in the pocket. When he does, he hesitates. Did you see Crosby and Adams might go to the Lions as a package deal? Oh, Crosby and Adams. Whoa.
No, that's like 5 first-round picks. No.
I know Adams is going to command a king's ransom, but that's the two of them. If they could actually get that deal worked out, man, that would make the Lions crazy. But we'll see what actually comes from that. That's scary. And then Dukes of Hazzard says, he says again, Crosby and Adams from Raiders to Lions. We'll see if there's truth to that. There's a lot of rumors that go out there and don't actually come true, but we'll see if that one. Keep an eye on that. See what happens there. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any other super chats. Okay, I think I got them all. So to answer your question, okay. No, you kind of covered a lot of things there. The first one being the crowd and the too many opposing fans. It's something we've noticed for a while. And in fact, my friend Mark Collins and we actually started this Facebook group called Hometown Tickets because we were so tired of the Seahawks being drowned out by opposing fans at our own stadium. And it was a Green Bay game a few years ago where they had to go to silent count at home because the Green Bay fans were so loud. So we got pissed, and so we started a Facebook group where only Seahawks fans are allowed to try to sell their tickets only to Seahawks fans. So, it's a little group where we can at least try to get people to, instead of going to Ticketmaster. The problem is when you put what's going on now, and this could just be a sign of the times economically or whatever, but there's a certain amount of tickets that opposing fans can get access to that we can't prevent them from getting. That's just same with any other team. There's a certain amount of tickets that people have access to. Then there's the ones where people who have season ticket holders, who are season ticket holders, can sell them on the open market. And obviously Venue Kings, Ticketmaster, or whatever. And so the lower bowl visitor side is typically where you'll find a lot of visitors fans, because that's where those seats are delegated to. But the ones who are right in front of me, the guys behind me, there's a whole bunch of 49ers fans right in front of my row, a couple rows there, a few back there. Those are season ticket holders who are selling their tickets. And what they're doing is they're basically putting it on Ticketmaster, and you can't pick or choose who gets them. So 49ers fans will go up there and, they'll just go, oh, hey, these guys are selling it. And so you're basically taking a chance of selling to an opposing fan. So, you'd like to have it where the Seahawks Seahawks fans only sell to Seahawks fans, but once you put it up on an online service, you can't do it. So for me, I try to do it through. In fact, I had to sell one of my tickets because my buddy couldn't go. So I found another Seahawks fan, fortunately, and he was able to take that ticket today. Ruben, who was sitting next to me. But a lot of people just need to get the money, right? And it comes down to a money thing. They want to get that money. 49ers is a high-priced ticket item, so they're going to put it up there. And, and Ticketmaster makes a lot because they charge fees to the seller. They charge fees to the buyer. So they're getting charged fees on both sides. And then there's the cost of the ticket. So, it's an easy deal for Ticketmaster, and they don't care who gets it. They just want the commission on that thing. And as long as tickets are moving, people just don't want to get stuck if they can't go to a game or don't want to, I need to get the money back for a game. So, it's definitely changed, and it's frustrating too for me to see so many fans not engaged, not yelling, because I think if we're lucky, 1 out of every 10 fans is yelling on third down. Probably less than that, maybe 1 out of every 15. And it's like if we all actually worked in unison, that place would be deafening. But most of the people are on their phones or just watching and all that stuff, and
yep.
It is what it is. But apathy, I don't think we're to that point yet. I think there's still a lot of interest. We haven't had a bad season in a long time. And I'm talking bad like 3 wins, 4 wins, that type of bad.
Like 2 years ago?
We haven't had that low of a win total since Holmgren Jim Mora, where Holmgren went 4-12.
I feel like the year that
Check
Russell
it.
Wilson went down and Geno Smith came
Check
in.
it, man.
Year.
I don't think it was ever less than
It was like
7
5
wins.
Really?
Was it
Oh,
5?
okay.
Check it, man. I'm pretty sure that we've always been like at 7. Take a look. Prove me wrong, but I don't think we've ever gotten below 6. I don't think we've ever had that bad of a season. Anyway, so if we got to a point where we're having a Carolina type season where it's like 2 and 3 wins and just horrible, then I think you start having people not coming to games, and so I don't think we're anywhere near that. I mean, we were first place up until tonight. I mean, we had a lot of reasons to be excited, and it's just I think we got spoiled. We got spoiled on feeling like we should be winning the division, but it's just hard. It's hard to lose, right? It's hard to lose, but
I'm curious about your perception or the attitude of the leadership, though, because tonight was the first night that I looked back on Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner and their enthusiasm, their leadership, their morale that they kept on the sideline, and thought, man, Mike McDonald doesn't have that, Geno doesn't have that, DK certainly doesn't have that. So, and nobody on the defense seems to have it either. So if that kind of keeps going and they stay emotionless and sulking, do you think it might like hasten some of what we don't want to happen, essentially?
That's a good point. And it's interesting. I've had these parallel discussions with my daughter. I keep bringing her up volleyball just because we're so invested in, like, I'm Seahawks 1 minute, volleyball the next. And that's my life in the fall. But it's a lot of the same thing. We've had having our struggles lately, and we talk about leadership. It's one of those things where it is really important to have leaders who can step up when things get rough. And we got a new volleyball coach this year, just like we got a new football coach in the Seahawks. And it's like, who are the leaders? Like before we had Bobby Wagner, right? Russell was, the offensive side of things, but you had all these guys who would step up and take charge. Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Bobby. But I don't know who the captain. I don't know who the leaders are on this team. I assume Geno was when it came to the offense, but I don't know exactly how it is. We don't get to see the close-ups like everybody does on TV when you're seeing everybody's reactions on the sideline. So we don't get that in close perspective. And on the defensive side, I thought it was Witherspoon, but Spoon's like, I don't know. He's a third-year guy, right? Or this is his second year, right? So I mean,
third,
but
maybe third.
Yeah,
he's a little bit as well in his play. I hate to admit that, but
so outside of him, I don't know who's the leader. Who's the guy who is the voice and the guy who rallies everybody around. I don't know if we have that. It feels like it's missing. I agree with that part of it. Mike McDonald, I mean, it's still first year, right? And it takes a while. I think if people had wild aspirations of seeing the Seahawks go to the Super Bowl under this coach, I mean, yeah, we got flirted with that with the first 3 games, but it hasn't been done in decades. A first-year coach taking a team to the Super Bowl in the NFL, it's just not likely. It's hard to get that, kind of get your system in place and get the personnel you want and establish that culture. There's an adjustment and a learning curve. And so I still think the Seahawks, I'd like to think the Seahawks can make a run to at least be in the playoffs. I don't think they're, not after tonight, have a shot at winning the division. Looks like it's for the 49ers division to be had yet again. But yeah, too many question marks because everything's so new. So I think it's going to take time. Just people got to be patient. The problem is we're not patient. Everybody wants it like that. I want it turned around now. I want to fix the O-line now. Yeah. I want Geno to be good now. Otherwise, get rid of him, right? Everybody loves a backup quarterback because the backup quarterback's great because he hasn't done anything yet. But then you put him in, and all of a sudden you realize, maybe not.
No, I live near D.C. Sam Howell is not going to be any better than Geno. He's probably going to be a little worse. There's a reason why he got benched and they let him go. But, the thing about Mike McDonald. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, Abel kind of said the same thing. I think about the whole Sam Howell thing. But you're saying about the coach?
Yeah, Mike McDonald. He's going to have to successfully transfer how to run his scheme to the current DC. I think his name is Dirty. Because he can't run the defense and be a head coach at the same time. And I think he's really struggling with that. I think he has some clock management issues. I think he's a little bit distracted, and he's not. I mean, this defense that we're seeing here is not the Ravens' defense of last year at all. We're seeing soft zone. We're seeing nobody rush more than 4 people. We're not seeing these exotic blitzes that we thought we were going to see. So he's focused in as a head coach, and he hasn't taught the defensive coordinator his defense yet. I think that's step 1.
Well, you could be right. I just still think there's a big jump going from a coordinator to a head coach. I mean, look at what happened to the Jets, right? Robert Saleh, this was his 3rd year, and he's fired. 5 games into the season, he's fired. You know, I mean, I don't think anyone's talking about firing Mike Macdonald, but you got to give him a little bit of time, right? Robert Saleh never got his time and never got his quarterback set, and he finally gets his quarterback, and I think his quarterback basically got him fired. Nobody's admitting it. Well, I think Aaron Rodgers didn't like him, and he got him out of there. Yeah. That's kind of messed up. But that's, again, it's hard to go. He was a great D coordinator for the 49ers, but look at him, he's out on the street again. So
that's true. You're right. And some people have their ceiling as a defensive coordinator, and I'm hoping that's not Mike Macdonald.
Yeah, we've seen it many, many times. Like Matt Patricia, right? Goes to the Lions. Nope. Back out of there. Yeah, not everybody's cut out to be a head coach. And sometimes they return and go back to coordinating, and there's great coordinators, just not head coaches. We'll see if he can make the transition. But this is where you get tested as a head coach. When everything's great, it's easy to be the head coach, right? But when everything's going bad, you got to figure out how do you keep the walls from crumbling and everybody's mindset and, just gets pulled down to the depths of the earth. So he's got a big task ahead in this next week and a half to get cleaned up before they go in Atlanta. Because if they lose again, oh man, it's going to be ugly when Bills come to town. So, all right, thanks for calling, Omar. Appreciate it, man. It's late where you're at over in Virginia. So have a good night's sleep, man, and we'll talk again soon. All right.
You as well. Take care, Norb.
All right, appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, that's man, so many callers tonight. How about Bill from the 469? Let's try this again. Bill for the 469. Bill, you there?
Hello, Mr. NorbFam. How you doing?
I'm doing.
What is so beautiful is the fact that the Niners had such a depleted team. You lost to a bunch of third-stringers and second-string players. And let's keep that in the fact that the Niners tried to give you the game and that they missed an overturn when your punter kicked the ball, and they didn't overturn that when that should have been overturned to the 49ers, but was not. So everything went in your favor, and you still lost. I want to know your thoughts on how you feel about losing to a depleted 49er team.
The depleted 49ers team still has some of the best wide receivers in the league, and a lot of calls didn't go our way as well. So,
but that defense is still outstanding. Yeah, I think they were without Charvarius Ward, but you still got the best linebacking crew in the best linebackers in the NFL. And this isn't your team, right? You're not. Are you a 49er fan? Who are you a fan of?
I'm a diehard 49er fan.
Oh, you are a 49er fan. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I gotcha. I wasn't sure who you're. I know you weren't a Seahawks fan, but yeah, I know we talked about it already. We said, they don't even have Christian McCaffrey. They're under a third-string running back. Yeah, you guys had some injuries as well too in other positions, but I knew going into this that you have a better offensive line than we do, and you have a better defensive line than we do. You have better linebackers than we do, and quarterback-wise, shoot, you guys probably have a better quarterback than we do because Brock Purdy is really good. He's frustratingly good because people, I don't know why, it seems like most of the Purdy haters are 49ers people that I know, and yet the guy just continues to make plays, whether it's with his feet, with his arm, gets out of trouble. The 49ers are a better team than us. I mean, I knew that going in. That's why I picked the 49ers to win this game. I wasn't hiding any bones about it, but
I got you losing 3 more games this season. I got you losing to the Niners again. I got you losing to the Packers, and I got you losing to Atlanta. But after that, that's all going to turn around. You're going to have 2 more losses straight in a row, and then you're going to start picking it up, lose to the Packers, and then you win. And then I got you beating the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs to meet us again in the playoffs.
Wow, this might be the most positive 49ers fan I've ever talked to. So you're telling me that you think we're only going to lose 6 games and we're going to go 11-6? Did I hear you right? That three more games after this?
Yeah, you got to lose to Atlanta, to the 49ers, and to the Packers. And I got you beating the rest of the teams. I got you beating the Cardinals. If it wasn't for our kicker going down, we would have beat the Cardinals. And the Rams, it was just not our day. We normally own them, but we're going to get them this time when we meet them again. And we'll get the Cards again when we got them. So, the Cards ain't that great. The Rams, who are they? They ain't nobody. You're going to get the Rams. What do you got to be head down on that? Come on now. The Rams are the worst team in the NFL. They're the next Browns.
You failed to mention the Buffalo Bills come to town. We go to Atlanta next week.
Buffalo Bills are struggling. They're falling apart.
The Vikings are undefeated. You don't think we're going to have trouble with the Vikings? Look at me. I'm trying to get encouragement. I'm asking a 49ers fan to encourage me about my own team. He's more optimistic. I think you know what? You're using a Jedi mind trick or some reverse psychology on me, aren't you? You're trying to make me feel optimistic about this season so you can see my heart get broken by telling me that we're going to win 6 games, and then when we lose 8, you're going to be like, it worked. I got Norb thinking they were going to win 11-6, but they actually finished 8-9 or some crazy stuff like that. Or do you really believe that?
It's going to be beautiful. We're going to sweep you 3 in a row again. You guys are going to have you guys are going to make it to the wild card. You're going to beat the Cowboys, and you're going to meet us, and we're going to send you home. And it's over. So it's all right, we want you to get your hopes up. We want you to look like you think you're good so we can send you back to your stadium the way you owned us for those years, give you some payback.
Y'all haven't won in February for 30 years. Just saying.
And you don't know, and I know you know that this is your window, right? You got to get it done this year.
We got this year, and we can end up doing something next year because next year's Levi Stadium Super Bowl. If we don't make it this year, we'll for sure kick in the door in next year.
As long as
just because it's in your stadium, you got to pay Brock Purdy next year. Dude's gonna be making $60 million plus a year.
It's good for us. I'm happy. It's a great time to be a 49er fan.
You guys are 3-3.
And
you are. I give credit where credit is due. You guys spanked us around pretty good tonight, even with depleted positions as you were. Of course, you're feeling good tonight. I'd be feeling good if we won this game, but But you guys definitely dug yourself a little bit of a hole early on, but you guys are climbing yourselves out of it. But yeah, the NFC West is weak this year.
Yeah.
But the NFC West is weak this year. The NFC in general, I think, is weak. Who's going to come out of this and beat the stronger teams in the AFC? Well, that remains to be seen. And the Chiefs always look like we thought they were weak last year, and they won the Super Bowl.
Loss of Greenlaw would have not got injured. That all helped with a lot of injuries. Again, you can't be hopping up and down until the game's over. That was the Niners that, kicked in the foot and allowed that to happen and missed calls, like you said. So, it's all right. You can't be changed. But hopefully they can learn their lesson, kick the door in, and do the job. You guys got maybe 2 or 3 more seasons before you start really coming up. I actually have Archie Manning coming out of the draft to the Seattle Seahawks.
How do you predict that?
You're going to have a bad year before he gets into the NFL. After the year, you're going to go maybe 2 wins and the rest losses just to get you a great quarterback because I think you're going to get rid of Geno at that time. And you're going to get you a good quarterback. And maybe a year after that, you'll struggle. And then you guys will come up and we'll have probably 7 or 8 Super Bowls and sitting back, drinking on the Kool-Aid, rebuilding, watching all this good stuff happen, And you might be able to try for your second Super Bowl.
Well, we're going to have to definitely touch base again later this season because I think there's a lot of to be determined. I mean, I like your thinking on the 11-6 part of it. That might even be a little bit more optimistic than I would even give credit for. But I know what you're setting up here. But, we'll see. We'll see how this whole season turns out. And, like I said, I think right now the NFC West is probably the 49ers to lose. I'm not going to argue with you on that one because who might argue? We just got spanked around, and Cardinals going to get it, Rams going to get it. I don't think so. So the question is, who's going to compete for that? The Lions are going to probably face you guys again at some point here, unless they blow it. Vikings, I think that's a fool's gold there to believe the hype of the start that they've had this season. But I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So I got your name here on this thing, so we will have to reconnect as we definitely get later on towards the end of this season.
All my Niner fan out there and all the 6 teams, go Niners.
All right. Well, appreciate the call. I appreciate the call. All right.
Oh, and by the way, beyond the comic, you guys didn't get to the 1-yard line. So, just saying.
Beyond the comic with the super chat, you didn't run the ball from the 1-yard line. I see how that's a Reem Jones Smith problem. He's tricked you into paying him. He's not that guy. Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, this is kind of a prove it. He's got to prove it. This is his prove it year because he's not just trying to prove it for the Seahawks. He's trying to prove it for somebody. If it's not going to be Seattle, he wants to get a contract from somebody. But, well, we did get to the 1-yard line at the end of the first half, right? And the pass interference in the end zone, and we had to settle for a field goal. And we didn't run it, but there's a reason we didn't run it because we'd burned all our timeouts, and you can't take the chance of getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage and then not be able to stop the clock, and then you run out of time and not have 3 shots at the end zone. It was just a lot of bad. The clock management was suspect leading up to that point. We shouldn't have been that scant on time and timeouts at that point anyway. So it's just one of the many issues that we had throughout the whole evening. There's not a shortage of things to talk about. All right, let me go to Eve because I know she's waited a long time on here. Let's see. Where's Eve? Hang on tight. Hold on. I'm going to go to the Discord right now. Eve, Jade, you there?
Just call me Jade.
Jade.
I took my sister to the game. It was her early birthday present. Her birthday's next week on Wednesday.
Okay.
Niner fan was not very nice to her. I can't really say what they called her because it's in the cursing category.
Of course it is.
And she's a minor. I mean, come on. Are you, like, to all the Niner fans out there, you could be at least nice to a minor, but you don't need to be calling her a curse word and making her cry because this was an early birthday gift and you just have to go and ruin it for a minor.
That's too bad. There's always some bad ones out there.
I mean, I guess Jay told you about the whole thing with the Husky game because Tyler told me you were going to stream it, but something came up, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything on Saturday, so I'll do it.
Good for you. Shout out to Dukes of Hazzard real quick. I had a super chat. Thanks for the content, Norv. Have a good one. Thanks for Francis. Thanks always for the support, man. Yeah, no, it's cool. I know. I wish I had streamed the game. Actually, I was cooking up dinner and stuff when I was watching it. I was like, oh man, I should have. Tyler asked me, hey, you'll stream it, but I just couldn't do it. So I'm glad you guys did.
Actually, I like this game because when my friend's dad, who works for the NCAA, called me and said, hey, Jade, Michigan's done. They got the death penalty. They don't have anything. They don't have a championship. So this was kind of like payback because I know a lot of friends that had went to schools that had their signs stolen. So guess what, Michigan? Maybe you shouldn't have not stolen signs because we don't steal signs to win, you piles of trash. So you have nothing. Maybe play fair.
Yeah, you reap what you sow, right? What comes around goes around. Karma's a biatch, as they say. So, all that stuff. But yeah, no, Saturday was very
actually-
satisfying. Saturday was very
I actually
satisfying.
was every time they got a touchdown, I was like screaming. So I was really like in the zone. I'm like, I went to school here. Now my sister's there. My other sister, she's 19, and like your daughter, they're both sophomores. And the Huskies run in my family. My mom, my aunt, my grandmother, who's sitting up in prison after what she did with the house, will be in my new house by December. So.
Okay. All right.
That
Interesting
Giants game, I was
developments.
absolutely furious. I could not even. I just left the game early. I couldn't even bother. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
I
Well,
hate the Giants.
well, let's talk about how we are now after this game. I mean, that was infuriating. This was just, I don't know,
This
it's a
one
different
makes
level
me,
of
like-
frustration.
This one, I don't even want to bother. I mean, honest to God, I hate it. I am probably wanting to feed Chris Osimo to my dog right now. After he's already famous for that one video of him eating a hot dog. And my grandfather's 79, and he loves the Mariners, so the last game of the season, 28th, I took him on his birthday to a Mariner game. So unless Chris Osimo doesn't want to be dog food, thanks for costing us the game, you retard.
Let's go easy. Go easy. The Seahawks got whooped. That's all that comes back down to it. So I'm sorry to hear
so
that
angry.
about your it was your sister. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the youngest one. She'll
Yeah.
be 15 next week.
Yeah. Well, that's the tough one. It's unfortunate it happens, but yeah.
I already went to the Kraken game this past week. Kind of got emotional during the Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Gaudreau silence. Hockey was something.
I know they lost the
We
opener.
played-
Did they win after that? I haven't been keeping track.
We have a game on Saturday or Sunday, so we're playing the Wild.
Yeah. All right. Well, you going to that one?
I'm already, because we're not going to be home for a while because we got 3 games on the road, and then we're going to come home and place the Flyers, which I'm going to be flying nightfall up here. So
Yeah. Yep.
I'm
Well,
hoping
we're gonna have.
guys don't throw stuff at my buddy, because just because he likes the Philadelphia teams doesn't mean, he do this type of stuff.
Well, I've found that so when it comes to games, you just gotta act the way you want to be. It's like sometimes it's a two-way street when it comes to fans. I'm always really nice to all the fans around me, 49ers fans or whatever, and I don't have any issue with them. But sometimes
I don't like them.
I know, but you start creating that vibe, and all of a sudden the tensions rise, and that's when bad things happen. I tend to I like to go have fun at these things, so
I
you just gotta
usually,
kind of play it that
it's
way.
not just that, but I see on articles top 10 toxic fan bases, Niners are in there, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
the Packers are one of
they-
them, man. Packers are evil.
Yeah, Packers were
Yeah.
Packers were in there.
You go to
Dude, I like your
Lambeau Field.
sweatshirt, because I actually, yeah, is that Abel?
Yep.
that's Abel. That's Abel.
Hey, it's former. You're talking to another Husky. You're talking to a former UW right here.
Future Husky, perhaps. So,
Perhaps.
all right. Well,
get in.
Jade, Jade. I'm calling you Jade. Jade. Well, sorry that happened at the game. It kind of sucked overall,
Yeah.
but we'll get back to it.
She
but
didn't deserve that.
Yeah. Well, hope she's all right. But all right, well, I'm going to try to grab a few more calls around the horn. But thanks for jumping on here. Appreciate it, Jade. You take
Nice talking
care.
to you. Take care.
Yeah, vengeance against Penix.
All right, talk to you later. All righty. Bounce a couple more here before. Man, it's almost midnight. Holy crap. You don't have school tomorrow, do you, Abel?
No, we have the day off.
Yeah. Same here for the kids. All right, let's go to the 925. 925. Who's this? From the 925. Concord, California? Oh, wait. Sorry. Don't have the volume up. That might help. From the 925. Who's this?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, boys. I know you're going to hit some super chats, so I'll let you do that first, and then we can get into it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. What's your name, man?
Fossey.
Fossey. Okay, Fossey. All right, let me see. Did I miss a super chat in here? I gotta check. There might not have been any since the last one, so I think we might be good. Dukes of Hazzard had the last one, so we're okay. Yeah, what's on your mind, man? But first, I gotta check.
Man,
You're not a 49ers fan, are you?
I am, man.
Well, you are. Oh my God, we're getting all kinds of 49ers people in here. Okay, I thought I had to check before I get
I'm not
put down
like
something.
these other guys over here. I used to live in Ferndale, Washington. I don't know if you guys know it.
Oh, I know Ferndale. I actually watched some games up there. Ferndale High School had a really good. Has always had a good football team.
I went to high school with
Jake Locker.
So yeah.
Oh, you were in high school when Jake Locker was there?
Yeah, man. He was the guy.
I know. It's so wild how he never quite translated into what he was when he got to the higher levels,
you know what?
unfortunately.
I think it had a lot to do with, just concussions and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I know. It's
different
unfortunate for that guy.
that I don't want to get into. But I really wanted to call in. I'm just listening, and me and my wife were thinking about going to the game today from over here in the Bay Area and flying out today. And every time that we've ever gone to a 49 or to a Niner versus Seahawk game, it's always been cool because you know what, that rivalry was always there. But just more recently, I feel like it's been not as great because the Seahawks just haven't been there for us as far as.
Well, yeah, it's not a rivalry when you lost 6 straight. A rivalry is where it's like you kind of go back and forth, like it was in 2013 or 2012, or I think it was, when did it start getting bad where the Niners weren't so good anymore? 2015-ish?
Yeah, it was
somewhere
in that
around
area. I think we had like a long win streak, and then they had a long win streak.
Then they went to the kind of hibernation from between like 2014 up to about 2019.
When we both had the dynasty, that was when it was the best. I wasn't even really.
Yeah, I mean,
old.
in the thick of it was when we both had good teams. It was always like competitive, and that's what we really enjoyed. And especially being from that area. And having a lot of family still out there, it was always nice to, just go out there and hang out with family and talk trash and friendly trash from here and there. And, we were thinking about it today and just flying out from like Atherton to there and then getting it all situated and stuff. It didn't really make sense because I'm thinking like from our point of view, we got like a bunch of superstars, no disrespect to you, but we got George Kittle, Brock Purdy, he's not that superstar yet, but, he's getting there. But Deebo Samuel, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, so we got all those guys, and we're looking at you guys, and we're like, they don't really have anybody to, kind of make it interesting for us. There's DK Metcalf and nobody else, so we figured it wasn't worth the trip. I mean, it would have been cool to go out there and, probably be one of those nicer fans that the previous caller was not talking about, but it just wasn't worth it for us. And you know what, I kind of miss those days where it was a friendly rivalry or whatever you guys want to call it. I know you guys probably hate us because of all the success that the 49ers have had of recently, but you know what, we're still hurting just as much as you guys because we haven't won the big one yet. But yeah, man, I'm glad that we beat you guys, but at the same time, I just kind of wish that it would have been more of a, mano-a-mano kind of game instead of us just almost losing it at the end because of whatever reason. But
no, I mean,
that's what
you guys definitely won that football game.
That's a humble brag if I ever heard. Yeah. I know. Like, oh man, I was really disappointed that you guys just didn't make it more entertaining by putting up a better fight. But don't hate us because we're beautiful, because we got all our superstars.
Hey, you know what? I got a lot of Seahawks family, and I still have like stuff that I have to do out there as far as work goes, and I'm always over there, and they always give me crap about how much you guys are gonna be great and stuff. And you know what? I keep my head down. You guys got some work to do. You got a new head coach. You guys just paid to me, what is a journeyman quarterback, and no big names on either side of the ball. I mean, DK Metcalf is somebody, but you don't build your offense around I mean, no disrespect to him, but you don't build your offense around him.
I mean, I might disagree a little bit, but
yeah, well, Kenneth Walker Jr. is a good running back.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is a
he's an upcoming guy. Defensively, Witherspoon, Byron Murphy when he's healthy. I mean, yeah, but these things are going to take time. I knew that this year was going to be we call it rebuild. I guess it's sort of a rebuild, restart. As first year coach, it's always going to take a while for things to stick. So, but we'll see, man. The thing is, the 49ers have always been competitive. They made it to the big game a couple times, but fall short. I was there. I saw it. I was at the Super Bowl this year, and doggone it, if I wasn't cheering and screaming any louder than anybody else in the stadium when that clock went to zero. The clock didn't go to zero. It went overtime, sudden death. But, 49ers gotten close, but never got the cigar, man. So this window you guys have, I feel like there may be some denial there, but that window you have of this, you talk about your superstars, you're not going to have them all together for much longer because you're going to have to pay that man. You're going to have to pay Brock Purdy amount of like $60 million a year, and there's not going to be a lot of bones left over.
I already know the window is this year. I mean, if any year was to win a Super Bowl for us, it was last year, and we dropped the ball on that one. And you know what? I'm not going to go back into last year or whatever, but I do want to ask you guys, was letting how did you guys feel? Because I know the sense of letting Pete Carroll go was kind of it was time to let him go, but how do you guys feel about that and bringing in a guy like McDonald?
I think the Carroll thing was probably needed. I think we had played long enough to where that theme of how we played in that game just wasn't, we decided it wasn't working. Because after 2014, you kind of just saw this team that the Seahawks were probably above average, and they made the playoffs pretty much every year. But they never came back to where they were before. And it kind of just slowly went on the decline because we had the idea of after the Legion of the Boom, it's like bend don't break, right? Bend don't break and pound the ball, and we kept that mentality over that long of a time. And then, once Russell Wilson left, it's like now we have Geno Smith. Maybe it's time to start rebuilding. And Pete Carroll was old, and it was time to have probably a fresh start, I think, in the ownership's eyes. And I think what we saw was, if we're really trying to recreate this new, fresh team, the best way to do that is bring in the youngest head coach possible and the one with a defensive mindset. And I think they just brought him in, and I think they're just looking forward to the future with their.
For me, I saw. I was kind of hoping that Pete Carroll could get one more year. I mean, his time was running close because, the dude's, it was 70-something, right? 71, 72. I mean, he was getting up there. He wasn't going to be coaching for much longer. I just wanted him to go on one last shot to go on a good note. But obviously it didn't happen, but it was going to happen sooner than later when he was going to have to go. So, they accelerated a year earlier than I thought. But I'll be honest. I was hoping that the Seahawks. I think a lot of us were hoping Ben Johnson from the OC for the Lions was going to be the guy that the Seahawks would get because it makes a lot of sense to have an offensive coordinator for the head coach. But there have been successful coaches who are defensive side as well. But I think we got to give this dude time. It's going to take more than just 1 year to prove that he's, the guy. It rarely happens when the first year head coach goes and does something amazing. So, it all takes time. So being trying to realistic, I think if we get into the playoffs somehow, even as a wild card or whatever, I mean, that would be like kind of icing on the cake for his first year start. But to expect anything more than that is kind of unrealistic, especially now. with what we've seen and kind of where it's going. So, yeah. So jury's out, but I think he can still do some good things.
I've always thought that the Seattle Seahawks, to me, as far as NFC West goes, I mean, we all know what the Cardinals are right now, and with the loss of Koopa and Cup in the Rams, I mean, they're both out. So now it's between us and you guys. And now, thinking as far as the future goes, I think the previous 49er called it. I don't have you guys losing that or winning that many games. I think you guys probably win or lose maybe 3 or 4 or 5 games as far as the rest of your schedule goes, but you guys will be still in the thick of it, and I have us losing the same amount of games that you guys go. So I think the games that we win right now against each other are going to matter as far as the playoffs go.
Well, for sure. I mean, we had the bonus of a undefeated start, and you guys, I really thought I could see the 49ers have started 5-0. I had you guys going 4-1, 5-0 to start this year, and you guys dug yourself an early hole, losing games you probably shouldn't have, and we won some games that we probably shouldn't have, and won one that we shouldn't. What am I trying to say? We lost one we shouldn't have lost, and we won one that I didn't think we'd lose. But in the end, we ended up where I thought we would end up, which is 3-3 after losing to you guys. So right now we're right on track. And I predicted 10-7. So what you're saying is about right, because you said if we lose the most 5 games, that would mean 8 losses on the year, which would make us 9-8. And if it's any better than that, it would be, 10-7, 11-6.
And I have us
That's
right
good enough
there
to make
too.
the playoffs.
So I mean, if we split these wins and whatever happens in the playoffs, as far as I mean, I don't think Minnesota is letting go of that first seed, and I think the Detroit Lions have pretty much a hold of their division. I think whatever happens between us and your guys' schedule and the games between us and you guys, it'll have a lot to do with who's in the wild card and who's NFC West championship.
Well, I think you guys obviously have suffered from the injury bug. The Rams really got suffered by the injury bug, and we've kind of had a little bit of injury, bugs here. Not to make that the excuse for everything, but I'd like to see what this defense is going to look like when we were down to our one cornerback. We lost 3 corners. We lost Wolin. We lost Brown. I didn't know this until later, and then we lost what's his name, Artie Burns. I mean, we were down to scrap heap on the corner, so. I mean, at some point you're going to go,
wasn't your
next man up, but damn.
Defensive line depleted too?
Yeah, we were missing Nwosu
and Murphy.
And Byron Murphy, who's, was going to be he's our best top draft pick. So.
And before that, Leonard Williams was banged up, and, it's been over the whole year. But
and I'm not gonna say that as an excuse. Like, the only reason we lost is because we didn't have them. But my point is that I think when the Seahawks get these guys back, and hopefully we can get them back at a time when they're all together, this defense might look different, might be better than what it was, because we definitely had some better play when we had certain guys in there. So it remains to be seen. What will it look like if we can have all these pieces firing at the same time? But we all have injury problems. The whole West has had problems for the most part. So, can't say it's like an isolated issue. Everybody has to overcome some things, and 49ers did a good job of overcoming the ones they had. So, all right. Well, Fossey, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for being on there. So we will, I'm sure, talk again sometime. Let me go to Tristan. He's been patiently waiting in the Discord. Tristan, you're up right now. What's up?
What's up, y'all? Let's go. Let's go, Seahawks.
Okay,
I just want to say, as a Chiefs fan, I know we're going to go against
this is Chiefs fan guy. Okay. I was going to say, why are you so up? It's like, no, you're not a Seahawks fan. Okay, all right. Now we know it. We've got 5-0. Wait, are they 5-0? Is it 5-0 or are they 6-0?
Yeah, they're 5-0. Okay,
5-0.
I just want to say this. Okay, all you 49ers fans, talking to Norb right now, I don't know why you guys are literally
Actually, I'm glad
Oh my god, like, come on, guys. Like, you guys can't, like, talk trash to the Seahawks, guys. Come on. They're, like, a good team, and they have, like, they were, like, 4-0. Were you guys 4-0, like,
Yeah,
the
3-0.
beginning?
Well, who's counting?
3-0?
3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm going to say, like, the game, I mean, I watched, like, part of the game for you guys. I mean, I was watching the Kansas City Royals. I mean, they're losing to the New York Yankees. But
Right.
all I want to say is, as a Chiefs fan, I mean, since we're going against the 49ers next week, which that's going to be a Super Bowl rematch.
Is that next week? Really?
Yeah.
You better kick their butt. You better kick their butts, man. You need to humble these guys, man.
So, guys, everyone in North's chat, I want you guys to say hashtag Chiefs will beat the 49ers again. Okay? Like,
I'm for that.
come on, guys. Like, everyone, please. We want the Chiefs to beat the 49ers. I hope that the Seahawks will go in the playoffs. They will, like, hopefully they will go against the Cowboys. I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys are mid, I believe. I don't know.
Agreed.
But I could say if the 49ers loses to the Cowboys, that would be so embarrassing. I mean, hopefully. I mean, I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see how the divisions all shake out when it all is said and done. Will the Vikings still be up there on the top? I don't know. I keep feeling that at some point the Vikings are going to drop some here, but I don't know. They keep going. They keep winning. But then again, man, you guys, the Chiefs, injuries. Talking about injuries, overcoming injuries. Man, how many receivers have you lost? And yet you guys still undefeated. Crazy.
So I think we lost like one, I believe. I don't know, but I think we lost like Rashid Rice.
Rashid Rice. And then Pacheco, is he back or is he still out? He was injured earlier, right?
He's still out.
So Pacheco's out. Rashid Rice is gone. But I mean, shoot, you guys still managed to pull it off. So, do us a favor, man. Yeah, when you play the Niners next time, stick one for us. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, I will.
So, do you think like what's your like prediction of like the Niners in the Chiefs game? Like, what do you think? Because we're at the 49ers stadium next
playing
week.
in Santa Clara.
Yeah. So, what do you think is going to win that game? Do you think the 49ers will get like the revenge game? Like, will they like win it back or not?
No.
I think the Chiefs are going to win this one. But I don't know. Andy Reid is he's such a great coach, man. I really admire Andy Reid and the way he calls plays. He just seems to find a way. Doesn't matter who's in there. It's like Tyreek Hill. Oh my God, they lost Tyreek Hill. Oh, what are they going to do? And they find another guy who's just like a carbon copy and find another way to get back to the Super Bowl, even though they lose weapons. And I don't know. They got something special going on there. I hate to say it. I mean, again, I was the biggest Chiefs fan in February when I was at that Super Bowl. So I'll be rooting for you guys again, at least against the 49ers.
Good thing you didn't root for the 49ers at the Chiefs. So,
if the 49ers are involved, I'm rooting for anyone but the Niners. I mean, that's basically the mantra. So, so take care of business for them. So, that would be
all I
cool.
want to say, and everyone. All I want to say in Norb's like live stream, I love all you guys. Hopefully you guys will pick the Chiefs versus the 49ers. I hope the Chiefs win. And everyone, just remember, hashtag Chiefs over 49ers.
All right, man. I appreciate the call. Thanks for being patient and waiting on here. All right, you have a good one. And take down the Niners, please. We would appreciate that. All right, couple more callers, and I'm going to wrap up this evening as we hit the 12:15 mark in the morning. Let's go to the 720 Manway. Is that who this is?
Hey, what's going on, Norb?
Did I get that right? Is it Manuel or what's your name?
Manny. It's Manny.
Manny. Okay, Manny.
Well,
what team
Manny
are
Hawk.
you loyal to? I got to ask that question first. Do I know who I'm talking to? Don't tell me you're another 49ers
I'm Manny
fan.
Hawk.
Okay. Good.
Manny
All
Hawks. Seahawks for life.
Manny Hawks. All right, cool. Very cool. All right. How do you feel?
So, I'm frustrated. I'm a Seahawks fan till I die, but I'm frustrated. And I'm along with a lot of people saying that Geno needs to go. I've noticed a lot of differences between him and Russell and other quarterbacks that we had. Matt Hasselbeck. When Geno is not in the game, he sits by himself. Russell, Matt, they used to be with their wide receivers, their running backs. They were all about the team. Whenever I see Geno, I see isolation, leave me alone, don't talk to me. And then on the screen, fourth quarter, he's like, what the F are y'all doing? You know, yelling at his own team. And that's why I believe that it's time for him to go. I think that Hal could be a better option. We don't know. And we won't know. Even Locke was a good choice. But the way they did the preseason is Geno went with the first and second string. Locke went with third and fourth string. And the games that Locke was playing with the third and fourth string, he was scoring with third and fourth string. Imagine what he would do with first and second. But they never gave him the opportunity, just like they're not giving Hal that opportunity. When Geno faked that injury to get out of the Rams game last year and Locke won it for us, he was jumping up and down like it was his idea. I love my Hawks. I'm praying that we can pick this back up and turn it around, but it's just frustrating.
Wow. That's some deep psychological analysis there. The thing is, I mean, I know you're going off of what the TV shows, but you're only getting little snippet pieces of what you see. So I don't know if they can fairly assess what's going on the sideline from just a few random camera angles. You know, I mean, it's not like you're there on the sideline. You're not watching it the whole time, so we don't know what's spoken between them, right? A lot of things get misconstrued when we just see images and they go, oh, look at him. He's being all cold. He's not talking to anybody. Or, oh, he's yelling and he must be pissed off at everybody, but maybe he's trying to fire them up. We don't know the details, right? The thing about Drew Lock and Sam Howell, I mean, Drew Lock left the Seahawks. What's he doing now? He's keeping a bench nice and warm somewhere, right? I think for the Giants, isn't he?
Yep.
Isn't he the backup? So if he was that good, he'd be starting for some team. But clearly he's not. So I'm not saying he didn't do some good things. He had that great comeback drive against the Eagles last year. Yeah, he's done some good stuff. But is he starting quarterback material necessarily? You know,
we don't know. He wasn't really given that opportunity. I mean, even with Geno Smith, he wasn't given an opportunity when we had Russell. Towards Russell's decline. But as soon as he got injured, it was like, okay, we're stuck with Geno. Let's see what he can do. And then he started playing good because he was trying to get a contract. Once he was done getting his contract, his game kind of
but isn't he playing for a contract right now? I mean, after this is kind of like the year where they can decide, well, sorry, Geno didn't work out. Or like, man, you took us to the Super Bowl. Let's pay this guy. He wants to get paid again. Yes. So he's kind of playing for a contract right now. So that can't just be the only thing that makes him decide to play good or not.
You know? Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that either. It's just like he has the potential to be a great quarterback, but I just don't see the camaraderie that he has with his teammates. Like, I've been to a couple of the games, and Paul Gates is one of my friends. I know him personally. He's giving me his seats on the... You know Paul.
Yeah, Bernie Hawk.
He's giving me his seats on the 12th or 3rd row. And I've seen him. Him and DK don't like each other. I mean, I don't know. I'm praying that we turn it around. I'm praying that Geno can do something. Also, off topic, when are we going to see some more NorbFam videos? Like the rivalry.
Like rival videos? Did you see the one did you see my little one I did today?
No, I didn't.
See, I made one. You know what's the funniest thing I get is I'll be somewhere like the Safeway or something, and hey, you're NorbFam, right? I go, yeah, man. He goes, man, I used to watch you back in like middle school. I'm in college now. It's like, what do you mean used to watch me? I'm still making it. It's like I've been gone or something, and it always cracks me up when I hear that. But still here.
Like I said, it's frustrating because I live in Denver, and I get so much hate thrown at me. But then I sit there and say, "What was the score again? 40 what? What was it? What?"
They're just mad because we dealt Russell Wilson to them, and we messed up their entire salary cap for the next 3 years. That's why they're mad.
Oh yeah, and then do you see what he did? He screwed them over.
Beyond more than not playing well and eventually getting paid to play for the Steelers? What else did he do?
He took the league minimum to where Denver still had to pay him.
Well, he was getting paid no matter. He could have not paid. He could have just he could have stayed at home and ate Cheetos and did nothing. He would have still gotten paid. He just wanted to play. He wanted a shot to play. I mean, it's why you know what? Denver people can't blame Russell Wilson for that. The owners and the GM should blame themselves for signing Russell to a contract we hadn't even proven anything. That's on them. They bought a bag of goods and they didn't even bother to check the quality before they signed on the dotted line. That's their fault.
Well, the problem is they already had their opinion of Russell after the first year. He had the same stats as Mahomes, but the difference is Denver didn't have any options for him to throw to. They had one good wide
Jerry
receiver?
Jeudy, right? They weren't completely depleted. They had a decent roster.
Oh yeah, and that previous caller, he was wrong. We have Witherspoon. Witherspoon is
I mentioned Witherspoon.
Captain.
I think he's kind of underestimating our whole team.
He's got red tinted glasses or gold tinted glasses or whatever.
He only knows DK Metcalf. I don't think he looks into anything else.
It's not that he doesn't think we need. It's not that he doesn't think we have any stars. He just doesn't know any of our other people.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't mention Tyler Lockett. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett is the man.
He rarely drops a ball, and he had a good game today. He had that one,
he's an easy one.
That's another thing.
Yeah, that was a good pass.
Gino is so predictable. 90% of his throws will go to Smith and Jigma or Fent. He completely ignores the other.
He was force feeding DK Metcalf for the past 2 games, and then Tyler Lockett was one game he got like 4 catches. The next game he got like most of the receptions. I think the only thing predictable so far is that he definitely tries to force the ball to DK Metcalf, and whether that's DK demanding it or Ryan Grubb demanding it or because Gino just wants to get it to him. And I really didn't have a problem with that. And the only issue is that DK was fumbling, and then if he starts forcing it to where it looks like he's forcing it in, like today, he got away with 1 pass. No one's going to talk about it because he got the completion. It was in the mid to later part of the fourth quarter. He threaded this ball between two defenders, and I thought it was picked. You know what I'm talking about? We were going left to right. It was about midfield. And DK caught it, and I was like, why is he throwing it there? Because there were 2 receivers. Like, he was sandwiched between them, and somehow he threaded the needle right in between. I would have thought, if I were the coach, I'd say, Gino, I know you got the completion, but do not throw that ball again because that's going to be intercepted next time, 2 out of 3 times. So, anyway.
Well, there was that when Walker was on the right side by himself, open. That should have been a touchdown.
Oh,
that should have been a touchdown.
And he missed that one. Yeah, I'm. Gino did not have a good night tonight. Tonight's an easy day to jump on Gino because. The quarterback gets the blame anyway, but he was definitely off his game today, more than normal.
Did you see the post-game interview with him? He was kind of angry.
I heard he was mad. Yeah, no, I didn't listen to it. I'll listen to it later online. But yeah, I heard he was pretty pissed off, and it's probably because it's his birthday and he had a crappy birthday because you want to have a good day on your birthday, and it embarrassed himself in front of the national audience, and it was not good. Wasn't but not every quarterback has a bad day. That doesn't mean that just makes him a crappy quarterback for life. So up to this point, I thought he was doing all right. He just had a really bad night tonight, and the offensive line is making him see ghosts. That's part of the problem too. He's hearing Nick Bosa's footsteps coming up behind him. So Anyway, thanks for the call,
I'm
Manny.
gonna let you get on to the next guy. But
All right.
you guys have a good one. Go Hawks.
Yeah, take
All
care,
right,
man.
appreciate
Go
it.
Hawks.
All right, go Hawks. Whew, man. All right, we got one last call before we end this. Thanks for Abel for sticking on this long. We're going to go to Sean from the 206 here in town. Sean, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Norm?
Oh, you sound like I feel. What's up?
Stressful, man.
Well, you've waited a long time to get on the air. What do you want to talk about?
I mean, like, kind of the same problem we had last week was, I mean, like, that running play where they had, like, that 70-yard run, like, to
Oh, at
seal
the end, the
game, that
Niners,
was
that got that breakaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just so sad to see. Like,
I mean,
it was
realistically,
so
the Seahawks' chance of winning, even at that point, was pretty low. I know they still had a chance there, but yeah, it kind of sucks that like, okay, you get stopped. Maybe some miracle can happen, but yeah, it definitely problems.
Yeah. I'm worried that, you know, I trust McDonald, but I'm hoping he doesn't lose the locker room because 3 straight, like, L's, that's not good.
Yeah. No, that's true. This is where the head coach part of the job becomes really important here because he's got to not only figure out what's wrong with the defense, but he's got to figure out how to keep all the heads straight to keep people from not getting angry at each other and the offense not blaming the defense or defense blaming the offense or DK blaming Gino being DK and DK blaming the coordinator. You know, I mean, winning solves everything, right? So on the contrast of that, losing ruins everything, right? Because if winning solves everything, losing ruins everything. So how you get out of that is obviously you got to win, but you got to fix what's causing the problems. And right now, 2 back-to-back ugly games, they haven't fixed what's going on. And like I said, it doesn't get any easier from here. And one of the biggest unfixable things is that offensive line. I'm telling you, that offensive line is going to be the death of this team of going where they want to go this year. Because it's just bad. It's a bad offensive line.
Yeah. Nick Bosa was just eating up Stone Forsythe like today.
Stone Forsythe has been eaten up by everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's had their way with Stone Forsythe. Even in games where they credit him for like, hey, Aiden Hutchinson didn't get any sacks on Gino. Yeah, but he was also living in the back of the in Gino's backside or whatever constantly or right in his face. So, yeah, he didn't get the sack, but he got pressured and he couldn't throw the football the way he wanted to because there was a guy right there. So it's not always what shows up on stats. It's like you got to watch what's going on. And there's constantly somebody getting around him and he's chasing the guy, trying to keep him from getting to Gino and just not doing it. I don't know how we solve that one, man.
Yeah. It's so frustrating that we have the tackling issues. Like, still. Like, that is bad.
Yeah, that I thought we'd solve that. I felt like after game 1, it's like, wow, we've suddenly gotten good at tackling. Well, I guess
out the window.
Yeah, out the window. Yep, it's a tough one, man. I would not want his job. I'd like his pay, but I would not want Mike McDonald's job right now. This is the kind of stuff that, sure, when he goes to bed, like laying in bed right now, a million thoughts got to be going through your head, like, oh my God, how am I going to fix this mess? And all the pressure.
He's not in the hot seat or anything, but
no, you can't be on the hot seat 6 games into your first year. I mean, I think about, I don't know if you guys remember, this is 2008, the Jim Mora era, when Jim Mora came to coach the Seahawks, and he came in after Holmgren. Holmgren retired, and he went out with a blazing 4-12 record in 2008. And then Jim Mora came in 2009. I thought, okay, I like this potential hire. He went 5-11, and he had one game better than the year before with the Holmgrens last year. But then, guess who suddenly left USC and was suddenly out in the open market looking for a coaching job? And Pete Carroll, man, they jumped at that. And I thought Jim Mora got kind of a raw deal because he never got a chance to really see what he could do after his first year. But it's because they really wanted the opportunity, which obviously worked out. Got us a Super Bowl and a bunch of wins and dominating the West for a long time. But yeah, Jim Mora kind of never got his fair due. And Mike McDonald, I'm sure they will. I don't know what his contract situation is. Not that any contract really means anything. If they want to fire somebody, they can fire them. It doesn't matter what their contract is. But I'm sure he'll get at least past this year. And whether they make the playoffs or not, I'm sure he'll get a second go at it. But I'm hoping that by, December, that we'll be feeling better about this team than we are right now. Because right now it feels pretty sad and depressing.
We just gotta feel confident. We right now everything's up in the air. So,
but again, I feel like we do have some reinforcements coming on the defense.
Yeah.
We are as banged up as it gets. We are down 3 cornerbacks, or is it 4? 3? With Reek Woolen, we lost Artie Burns, we lost Trey Brown. So 3 of our corners are out. And of course
2 of our best pass rushers, or
2 of our best.
Not even pass rushers, just defensive players.
Yeah. So we know we're getting some of those guys back, so that's going to help.
Yep.
And I just don't know about the offensive line. If it's George Fant, no one's talking about George Fant. Is he going to be available? Because I think he could be a decent right tackle. We never got to see him. We got to see him play for like 1 quarter or 2 quarters before he got injured. And then here we are, stuck with Stone Forsythe, because that's where we are, 3rd string right tackle.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
or unless they put in Peters. What's his name?
Jason Peters.
Jason 42.
Jason Peters.
42.
No.
He played for us last year, though. I don't know. He did okay, but can he do worse than Stone Forsythe? I don't know. Anyway.
That guy was alive when the Niners won a Super Bowl.
That's a long time ago. Anyway. It'll be all right, Sean. We'll have brighter days ahead. I know we're not gonna go 3-14 like my dad said today on the way home. I refuse to believe that we've seen the last of a Seahawks victory. Yeah. We're gonna steal one somewhere. I don't know against who. Yeah. It'll probably be the most unlikely. Like, what team feels like it's the most unlikely win for the rest of the schedule? Which we got the Falcons, Bills, Rams, 49ers again. Cardinals, Jets, Cardinals, Packers, Vikings, Bears, Rams. Which of those games feels like we have no shot against? 49ers again in Santa Clara? Would you say that's the least winnable game? Abel? Do you think that's the least winnable game of the ones you have remaining?
Niners in Santa Clara? No. I would say Bills Bills is probably one of the toughest. Or the Vikings.
But we don't know on December 22nd. They may not be as good as they are right now.
In Seattle or in Minnesota?
It's here.
Okay, well, that makes it easier. But I know Bills.
I don't know. We lost 2. We lost 2 straight at home. So I don't know. The home field advantage thing is not proving itself.
Yep.
People are saying Bears. Let's see.
No, Bears.
I'm asking
Bears
people.
It's going to be tough. Bears.
Jorge says Vikings. Jesus is Bears.
And Thursday night football in Chicago during the winter could be tough.
Yeah, it's in Chicago in nasty weather.
But
Vikings and Bears, oh my.
I feel like we always play the Niners tough in some way. There's been games where it's been blowouts, but I think we always have the ability to play them tough.
I don't know. We have not done well in Santa Clara recently. That last time out there was pretty nasty. But
there's a lot of games that could be up in there, but we'll see.
Yeah.
A lot of good teams.
My point in asking that is probably the one game that we think we have no chance in might be the one that we steal a win.
Yeah. I mean,
it might just be the most unlikely place. But we'll see. We just didn't get any. I kept talking about we needed one of those plays that turned things around, that like got a momentum switching, turnover. We never got sacked, never got the turnover, never got an interception, fumble, none of that. It all went the other way. The only real break we got was the Laviska Shenault, touchdown kickoff return. I mean, that was pretty exciting. That's a game changer because you get 7 points in 30 seconds or whatever. But outside of that, it was like hard work to get anything. You know what I'm saying? All right, Sean. Well, thanks for calling in, man. It'll be all
Take
right.
care.
All right, man.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks for calling.
Aloha.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, I think that ends all the call-ins. We appreciate you guys doing that. And wow, you guys hung out a long time. I'm actually surprised that you guys stuck around this long. It's like, who would have thought at 12 o'clock Pacific time, which means if any of you guys are calling from the other side, you're like 3:30, 3:40 in the morning. Don't you guys have something better to do? No, I do appreciate you guys being on here. Real quick, I just want to poll the chat. Who believes we can beat the Falcons in a week and a half? Does anybody think we can win this game? I mean, I don't know, dude. Are the Falcons that good? I mean, Kirk Cousins did light it up for like 500 yards.
I was about to say, the Falcons before those games, I did not see anything that crazy. You're not going to see Kirk Cousins getting a 500-yard game every other week.
No, that was in overtime too.
Yeah.
All right, so these are the people who think that the Seahawks will win. Marisol thinks we can win.
This guy hit it on the head. Every Seahawks versus 49ers game in Seattle this is so real.
Starts with the 49ers jumping out into a huge lead, looking like a blowout, just for Seattle to make it close, and just for the 49ers to hit them with a dagger. It's true. I think we talked about it. We talked about the last time when we were in Thanksgiving. We were getting blown out by about the same score. Maybe I was talking to somebody in the stadium. I was going, man, this feels a lot like the Thanksgiving game.
31-3 or something.
But initially, it was like 20-3 or something, very close to what we had. And then we got that pick six from Jordan Brooks, and all of a sudden, we're getting back into it, and just enough for them to go, nope, stomp our hearts on the sidewalk. It's very true. I'm tired of starting out behind, man. We've been behind this game, the last game. No, actually, no. I should take it back. We jumped out to a 7-0 lead against the Giants, even though it didn't feel like it. Somehow we started at 7-0, and then we lost that lead eventually because we just kept letting them get away with everything. But
all right.
Anyway, well, that's it. We'll see what happens. But I'll be collabing with Sports Live and the ATL. David in Atlanta, always quite the trash talker, but he's very polite with me, so I appreciate him. So we'll see. I think the last time we played, he got us. It was when we were here, I think. The Falcons came here, and we lost to those guys in a game we should have won. But we'll see what happens going out to Atlanta this time. So I'm sure we'll be doing a collab to talk about that game in advance. So, well, Abel, thanks for jumping on here. I don't know what happened to the rest of the fellas. I thought they were going to vent along with me, but I guess we'll do it on a next Hawks Real Talk where we actually break the film down and talk about it. So,
thanks, everyone.
Well, you have a good, thanks, Abel, and thanks for everybody for watching. This was actually therapeutic to a degree. It was weird talking to 49ers fans on the phone. They were interesting. It's like every time they give a compliment, it was like this backhanded compliment.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Like, oh yeah, I think you guys will actually win. You only lose 3 more games. You'll be 11-6, so that we can stomp on you in the playoffs and send you back home where you belong. It's like, thanks. Anyway, all right. Good night, everybody. Appreciate y'all, and see ya. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.